Black codes were a set of laws where freed African Americans couldn't vote, sit in on juries, testify against white men, and didn't let them carry around weapons or work in certain places. These laws were passed in 1865 and 1866. The people that were involved in black codes were former and current slave owners who contributed to make the laws, and the freed African Americans who had to obey the strict laws. Black codes never actually went into effect. Joseph B. Kiddo said that the black codes were biased, but other laws then became useless. White Southerners were the main people that were involved because they were the ones that came up with black codes. Northerners were against it because they thought it would bring back slavery.
Why did you choose your government action?
I chose black codes as my action because I felt that it played a very important role in civil rights and that white Southerners were trying to restore slavery.
What were your feelings about the government action and your feelings about what was going on at the time?
My feelings about the citizen action is that it was unnecessary and unfair to the freed African Americans that were just freed from slavery.
The action was a bus boycott. Many people ignored taking the buses and walked or took taxis instead of riding the bus. This even caused many taxi drivers to lower their fares in order to let African Americans ride their taxis to work. This bus boycott started on December 5th in 1955. On December 2nd in 1955, Rosa Parks got on and sat in the front row in the area that she could sit in. Afterwards, a white man got on and she was asked to move. She refused to move because she knew she was sitting in the right place. After refusing to get up, she was arrested. Overall, the effect on this action was good because the Supreme Court banned segregation on buses and other forms of public transportation, but the negative effect was that Rosa Parks was fined and many people had to walk so much more, which could have put more stress on them.
Why did you choose your government action? I chose my government action so that it was a good example of how the government hindered racial equality during the civil rights movement.
What were your feelings about the government action and your feelings about what was going on at the time?
I felt that it was not fair that people were segregated and that it was unnecessary for us to live apart.
Take a walk in somebody else's shoes.
If I was an African American during this time, I'd be afraid to do anything to stop segregation, so I would be afraid that I would get arrested. But I think that Rosa Parks was inspiration to many people to start using words.
How did this project affect your views on racial equality?
This project affected my views on racial equality because I never knew that African Americans weren't allowed to go down the aisle on the bus and would get arrested for refusing to move. There was another case, something similar to Rosa Parks earlier that year.
The police in Boston have been stopping and frisking many people just because of the color of their skin, which means they would stop someone on the streets and search them down, even though they hadn't done anything wrong. They would stop and search them just because they might have different color skin, and they would get judged very quickly by the police. People of color who had been stopped by the police before in another encounter would be afraid to go to the police station if something had happened to them. The Boston police mainly target blacks just because of the color of their skin. Because of all the discrimination, they get judged just because they have a different color skin. Many people of color would feel very targeted by the police just walking down the street. When the police search them down, they can't really do much about it.
Why did you choose your government action?
I chose stop and frisk because I thought it was not a major effect on racial equality and acceptance.
What were your feelings of the government action and your feelings about what was going on at the time?
My feelings were I thought that it was very unnecessary to stop and search people, especially because they're a different race, even if they hadn't done anything wrong.
Take a walk in someone else's shoes.
If I were an African American during this time, and police kept stopping and searching me down all the time just because of my race, I would get really sick of it, and there's nothing you can do about it, and I just feel really judged.
How did this project affect your views on racial equality?
This project has really affected my views on racial equality because I didn't know that there was still very bad discrimination and that many people were very against people of a different race.
Do you think racial equality has actually taken place?
I think there has been changes in racial equality, and I think there's like a lot less segregation and discrimination than there used to be, but there still is racial issues.
So do you think that citizens and government have actually helped or hindered in the racial equality and acceptance?
I think that the government has helped by trying to stop segregation from happening by banning certain things like segregation on buses and other public places. And I think the citizens have helped by starting protests and showing the government that they think it's unfair that that everyone's being treated like unfairly if they're a different race.
Do you think that true equality and acceptance can actually be achieved?
I don't believe that racial equality and acceptance can be achieved because there's always a few people out there that don't believe African Americans are as good as whites.
Okay. Well, what kind of steps do you think we need to accomplish in order to, get towards racial equality and acceptance?
I honestly don't believe that anything can be done. It is incredibly hard to change an opinion of something that a person strongly believes in. I believe that unless everyone that doesn't believe in racial equality changes their opinion, then there will never be true equality and acceptance. People need to try to stop racial equality by influencing people who don't believe in racial equality.
So laws cannot change people's hearts? I mean, that's kind of what you're saying? Okay.
What was the most interesting or important information you learned from your research?
The most interesting and important thing I learned from my research was racial equality back then, because I didn't know it was that harsh as it is today in hindering form.